All right, so good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from, folks, and a pleasant welcome to another edition of the program, Image Spotlight on Image TV with me, David Siwalu. On today's edition of the program, there are great things that we are going to be discussing. One has to do with the recent detainment and questioning of former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor in connection to the recent drugs case that is ongoing. And we'll also be looking at other issues that has to do with the recent communication received by Amara Conan from the police RG, uh, inviting him to come in and help with the investigation. That is, if he, as a lawmaker, has some information about the ongoing jaws investigation, he should come in and help with the investigation. We are also going to be looking at the issue where Liberia will be accepting close to 120 individuals who are prisoners from the US. And you know, these things we are bringing it up because it has to do with the safety of Liberians. We are bringing these things up because we do not want to see these things happening, and we do not talk about it. We do not want to see these things happening, and we do not throw light on them and just allow them to just go and it happen whatever way it wants to happen. Now, bringing some prisoners into the country, about 120 plus. This is an issue of concern. How did the government got to this decision? Well, we are going to be asking these questions, and also we are taking a look at the invitation sent to Amara Conan by the police RG, inviting him to come to the police station, and if he have some information relating to the Jaws case, that he should come and turn in those information and help the police with their investigation. We are also looking at this other case that just happened this morning. That is the arrest of former Vice President Madam Joel Howard Taylor. And as I'm being told, she is still undergoing questioning. So we are also going to be looking at that also. But before we get into our discussion on today's edition of the program, Image Spotlight, I would like us to take some break, some teaser, as we first begin with Sheikh Kouyaté, as he explains this whole issue about the ongoing rigmarole between Liberia and Guinea when it comes to the issue of land possession. So we'll now go to Amara there, and he will give us more explanation about this. And after that, we come in and have our say on it and let the public know how we see these things that are going. So if you're just joining us, I would like to say a pleasant welcome to the program Image Spotlight. And I just hope that you are good in health and with a sound mind, and that you are thinking about doing something positive or doing something positive that will benefit you, the nation, and your family. Because this too is Mama Liberia, and all we need are positive thinkers. People with positive thinking that can move our nation forward. Once again, a pleasant welcome to you. Stay tuned. Don't you go away. Let's take this break to be right back.
Let's look at the Solomba border thing. I've been hearing people that you played some role in it.
Yes,
What do you know about what brought us down this path?
I'm up to present. I keep wondering why is it that the actual report has not yet come to Liberian people.
There is a report?
There was a report. The report
wow.
was forwarded to the National Security Council. The report was presented to the president, and when the report was dated, our first visit in Foya, a very beautiful area, and the Joint Security Commander briefed us when we were seated there. In that meeting was a representation of the Ministry of Justice. The Assistant Minister for Correction was there. During that meeting, there was an Assistant Minister for Defense who was there. The Chief of Staff of the Army was there. The Minister of Internal Affairs, now local government, was there. We had other people also from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We had the Ambassador Pearson, who also was there. And the gentleman was very clear. that we were instructed by the commissioner to move our flag from where it had been to this location. And when he did that presentation, I was very clear. Immediately, I said to the Minister of Internal Affairs,
who the gentleman said it?
the gentleman who said it was a joint security commander. So that I immediately asked him, who ordered you to take the flag from where it had been to a new location by the riverside here? And he said, the commissioner. Immediately,
That is the commissioner from
the
their
commissioner
side.
from their side.
The Guinean side. Okay.
No, from Liberia side. It was a Liberia joint security commander who took Liberia flag from where the flag had been for the past 30, 40 years.
And move it closer
And
to
move
the
it
water.
closer. And I asked the question in front of the Internal Affairs Minister, in front of the Chief of Staff of the Army, in front of the representation of the Ministry of Justice, in front of the representation of the Ministry of National Defense.
No, Shaq, take it easy. This is
serious.
Yeah,
And
this
I
is my
said-
first time hearing this one.
And I said, and I asked the gentleman, who sent you? And he said, the person who ordered me is the commissioner. So right there, I said to the minister, I said, Minister? He said, yes. I said, are you aware that the commissioner, did you give any order to the commissioner to this? The superintendent there said, Ambassador, please, we'll talk about this, but we are not here to talk about that now. They cut it off. When we crossed the border to Guinea, is where I got the full story. When we got to Guinea Minister of Administration and Territorial stated to us, before we go into any discussion, take your flag from where you have placed it now and carry it back to where it had been for the past 50 years. Then our Minister of our Internal Affairs said to him that you should.
Let's look at the Solomba border thing. I've been hearing people that you played some role in it.
Yes.
What do you know about what brought us down this path?
You know, I'm up to present. I keep wondering why is it that the actual report has not yet come to Liberian people.
There is a report?
There was a report. The report was forwarded to the National Security Council. The report was presented to the president. And when the report was dated, our first visit in Foya, a very beautiful area, and the joint security commander briefed us when we were seated there. In that meeting was a representation of the Ministry of Justice. The Assistant Minister for Correction was there. During that meeting, there was an Assistant Minister for Defense who was there. The Chief of Staff of the Army was there. The Minister of Internal Affairs, now local government, was there. We had other people also from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We had the Ambassador Pearson, who also was there. And the gentleman was very clear that we were instructed by the commissioner to move our flag from where it had been to this location. And when he did that presentation, I was very clear. Immediately, I said to the Minister of Internal Affairs,
who the gentleman said it?
the gentleman who said it was a joint security commander. So that I immediately asked him, who ordered you to take the flag from where it had been to a new location by the riverside here? And he said, the commissioner. Immediately,
That is the commissioner from
the
their
commissioner
side.
from their side.
The Guinean side. Okay.
No, from Liberia side. It was a Liberia joint security commander who took Liberia flag from where the flag had been for the past 30, 40 years.
And move it closer
And
to
move
the
it
water.
closer. And I asked the question in front of the Internal Affairs Minister, in front of the Chief of Staff of the Army, in front of the representation of the Ministry of Justice, in front of the representation of the Ministry of National Defense.
No, Shaq, take it easy. This is
reference.
serious. Yeah,
And
this
I
is my
said-
first time hearing this one.
And I said, and I asked the gentleman, who sent you? And he said, the person who ordered me is the commissioner. So right there, I said to the minister, I said, Minister? He said, yes. I said, are you aware that the commissioner, did you give any order to the commissioner to this? The superintendent there said, Ambassador, please, we'll talk about this, but we are not here to talk about that now. They cut it off. When we crossed the border to Guinea is where I got the full story. When we got to Guinea, Guinea Minister of Administration and Territorial stated to us, before we go into any discussion, take your flag from where you have placed it now and carry it back to where it had been for the past 50 years. Then our Minister of our Internal Affairs said to him that you should know that today we have a president who is also a Kisi, and when you look across the road, on the side is Kisi, on that side is Kisi, so there's no differences between the two countries. And the minister was very clear. He said to us, there was President Doe, there were Taylor, there were Ellen, there were George Weah, and other past leaders. But why none of them took your flag from where it had been and brought it at the front here? It is only you. When that happened after the meeting, we came back. We were told to relocate the flag back to where it was before we had any other discussion. The only request that the minister asked us that day, and I was interpreting, and they kept asking, what prompted you people to move a flag from one area to another? What is the intention? We could not find the answer. And sadly, when we did the communication, the report to the president, in that report, it was not included in the report that the Minister of Internal Affairs, now Minister of Local Government, was the one instructed his commissioner, and the commissioner instructed the Joint Security to move our flag from one area to another. That is where we got the problem.
Oh, that portion was not included in the report.
That was not included in the report. So I was told to sign the report. I refused to sign the report. When I refused to sign the report,
on that ground.
On that ground. And then I went to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I said, Madam Minister, this is what happened. We went there. Before we talk about how do we resolve it, let's ask ourselves, how did it begin? And this is how it began. And I explained to her that where our flag used to be, I think it is where it is now, was taken from there, closer to the riverbank, by the instruction of the Minister of Internal Affairs, now Minister of Local Government. And I didn't stop there. All of those who went for the meeting, I said to them, we even had a meeting in Guinea. Before the Guinea could give response to us, we went in the suite, they call it prefect, in the prefect office. We have a meeting among ourselves. And I said to the minister, this issue can be resolved very easily. They say, how can it be resolved? I said, suspend the commissioner for time indefinite and ask the authority of Guinea, sorry, that the decision that was made by the commissioner, the government of Liberia is unaware of it. So his suspension would reduce the tension. They all said no, that's not the best way. And we left. There was nobody suspended. So when I spoke to the foreign minister, I didn't stop there. The foreign minister advised me, meet the president and explain to him. And I
yeah. Say, Allah, eh. Day and break, everybody on the hustle. Some people know like peace, they want some trouble. Yeah.
And I tell you, yes, indeed, they have broken, and everybody are now on the hustle. But one thing I would like to say here today is that though we all have a side, no matter what, we are all humans. But I think that Liberia should always be put first. No matter the situations, no matter the challenges, no matter how difficult it seems. But I think Liberia needs to always be put first. Now, let's take an example. Recently, there have been calls for prosecution. Recently, there have been calls for people to be arrested. Those who are involved into this whole drugs case, the cartel, those who are supporting the cartels, and whatever. And these calls continue to be made by Liberians, both in and out of the country. But what surprised me most is that whenever these calls are made and the government starts to take some actions, there are certain people who will come in and want to make it seem political. About what we just witnessed on the issue between Liberia and that of our Guinean counterparts. Now, Chef Kuyate is saying that, well, there is a reason why this whole tension is going on between Liberia and Guinea. And according to him, it is not about the dredging that is said was happening over the water. It is not about the resources that it was claimed were being stolen. No, he said the reason for which Guinea are moving in, the reason for which we have Guinean soldiers, the Guinean military at our borders is because Liberia was the first that wanted to encroach into the Guineans' territory. Now, according to him, when they went for the first engagement, they got to know that someone, a government official, ordered his commissioners to go and remove Liberia flag from its original location and take it further into the Guinean territory. According to him, this was the reason for which we are now having the tension at our borders. It's not because of the dredging that are going on. It's not because of natural resources being stolen. It was because Liberia made a move into the Guinean territory. Now, if this is coming up from a high-ranking government official and nothing is being done about it, we have to begin to ask the hard question. And one is, why was the Liberian flag taken from its original position and placed further into the Guinean territory? Why was that done? Secondly, why is it that our leaders, they find it so difficult to put Liberia first? They only care about themselves. They care about their families. And they do not care about the country. And this is why they keep going on and causing problems. They keep going on and causing chaos. And calling for chaos to come into the country without a single thought about what will happen if this country plunge into chaos. Why our leaders this heartless? Why they do not care about the ordinary citizens? Why they do not care about the people who elected them, the people who voted them into those various positions that they are occupying now and enjoying? Why? And that is the question. And these questions remain unasked and unanswered. Why? Because they have whatever it is that they wanted. And so they believe and feel in themselves that, well, they are untouchable. So they do whatever it is that they want to do. Now, if this information that is coming is true, then I would say the government of Liberia needs to do more when it comes to the security of the state, especially when it comes to the issue of the Guinean and Liberian border. That tension that is ongoing. Every week, every new month, we hear, oh, the Guinean soldiers are moving in. And recently, the Guinean soldiers were moving in again. And there was a standoff at the border where the Liberian immigrants refused and denied the Guineans access to the Liberian side. So is this what we are going to see each and every day? Is this what we want to see each and every day? And one thing I would like to say, there are times that you should always put your country first. No matter what, your country should always be put first.
Now let's take for example, this issue came up, and there are a whole lot of individuals that are involved into it. If a person comes up and says this thing that we are doing, it might end up wrongly. I mean, people should listen. People should listen and start to have a second thought. Now, those who should have listened never listened. And now Liberia is at a standpoint. There are tensions at our borders. Every day, they go there, they come back and say everything is fine. But later on, we see the Guineans military are trying to move further into the Liberian side. So what is the government doing to settle this matter? What is the government doing to settle this matter? This cannot keep going on. Liberians are at risk. Schools are about to open again. Will the students be running from classes whenever there is tension at the borders? Is this what we're going to see another school year? I think the government needs to step up and step into their game and start to do what is right. Take the necessary steps. It is about apologizing to your Guinean counterpart for wronging them. I think you need to do that because we have already reached at a stage where there is nothing else we can do but to apologize. Tell the people, well, this was a mistake. This was a mistake. And that will come to an end. But to continue to allow this to continuously go on, I mean, we are causing serious harm and danger for Liberians. One morning, we do not want to wake up and hear that the Guinean soldiers have marched into Lofa, that the Guinean soldiers have marched into Liberia, and they have started shooting and killing. We do not want this to reach to that point. So if there is a means, if there is a way that this issue can be settled, let the government of Liberia do all they can to settle this issue as soon as possible. Because Liberians' lives are at risk. And we cannot keep on doing this, risking the ordinary Liberians' life, and while we that are the power that be, we sit and enjoy ourselves. Because we think that when tension comes, we will not be affected. We can just get up and charter one flight and leave, and we are gone. There will be nothing that will be done with it. So I think this needs to be settled. There is a need that this be settled, and that Liberians in Lofa or other part of the Guinean border live in peace. We cannot keep having our citizens continuously live in tension, under fear for their lives. This is something that needs to be addressed. And secondly, as I said, we are also going to take a look at the issue of the recent detention and questioning of former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor. Now, as I said earlier, every day you wake up, you listen to various radio stations, you listen to various radio talk show, you go online, you see thousands, hundreds of individuals who are calling for the arrest of those who are involved in this issue of the drugs. There are times you go and you see people, they are calling for people to be prosecuted. They want answers. And whenever the government take a move to bring answers, you see those same people, they come up and it starts to make a whole lot of remarks and make it very easy to think political. That is wrong for inviting individuals for solution. I mean, what do we want for our country as Liberians? What do we want for our country? Do we think that everything that happens should just happen to other people and should not happen to those who we support? No, if that is how we are thinking, then it means we do not mean well for this country. Then it means we do not mean well for the country. Other individuals have been invited for questioning, and we did not see the kind of uprising that we are seeing today. Other individuals have been placed behind bars. Other individuals have been sent to courts. We have not seen the uprisings that we are seeing today. But because it is someone that somebody is connected to, so because this person is invited for questioning, and then we see a whole lot of remarks, a whole lot of reaction starts to come up. People starts to say a whole lot of things. So if we continue to do this, do we actually mean well for Liberia? Do we actually mean well for Liberia? If an individual is invited for questioning, and then we come up and say it's political witch hunts. But when other persons are invited, we say nothing about it. We let it go. We say nothing. So what are we trying to say? What are we trying to prove? Is this what we want for the country? Is this how we want the country to be? Is this how we want the country to continue going? You claim to mean well for the country. You claim that you want answers. Every morning, every evening, you come up and call for the government. You accuse the government of being involved into a whole lot of these. You accuse the government of not working. You accuse the government of hiding evidences. You accuse the government of being afraid to arrest those who are involved into this whole drugs, cartels, and stuff things like. But today, the police have invited a high-ranking individual, and the whole country is running upside down. That the government or the police are witch hunting. So how then are we to get to the solution of this whole issue? How then should we find a solution? If whenever someone is invited, we have a whole lot of negative statements to make. Whenever a person of interest is invited, they will have a whole lot of things to say. That the government is witch hunting. The government is coming after the opposition. But that, mind you, the government has prosecuted their own. The government have retired their own. The government has suspended their own. You said nothing about it. You said nothing about it. Now, the government is going after others. Now is the time that you know about witch hunts. So where are we heading as a country? What do we want as a country? Is this how we are going to continue? Is this how we want to live? Is this what we want for our country? Every day you come up and say negative things. You say the government is not working. The government is doing this. The government is slow. The government is hiding evidence. The government now is moving to do some work. And now you say the government is witch hunting. Just by inviting a person for questioning. And according to the information, this is a person of interest. So what is wrong that this person is being invited for questioning? And then you have a whole lot of negative things to say about this whole investigation. Mind you, this investigation is not only being carried out by the Republic of Liberia. There are other foreign partners that are involved into this investigation. You have the USDA here. You have the FBI here. They are all helping in this investigation. So are you trying to say that those foreign partners are also against whoever it is that are being invited for questioning? Is that what you are trying to say? I mean, these are things that we need to look at. These are questions that we need to ask whenever these things are happening. Because the more we continue to allow these things to happen, the more we continue to take everything as a political thing, the more we continue to plunge our country backward. The more we stop our country from progressing. Why? Because we have someone that we have interest in, we have someone that we are supporting, and so whenever this happens, we come up and stand with the person. Whether the person is wrong, whether the person is right, we do not care to know. We just come up and say, well, we have to stand by this person. I mean, that is wrong. That is a very wrong mentality. And we cannot keep on doing this, because the more we do this, the more we harm our country. If a person is being invited for questioning, let that person go and answer whatever questions that are being asked, and let that person exonerate themselves. As simple as that. Others have been invited. Others have been questioned. And we did not see the kind of tension that we are seeing today. So why then are we seeing this kind of tension? But yet and still, tonight we will be the same person to come back on the various platform and say the government is not working, the government is doing this, the government is doing that. I mean, you have your right to criticism, but there are times you must make sure that whatever you are saying is factual. You should make sure that whatever you're saying, when it comes to order, like we say in our normal day English, when push comes to shove, you should be able to stand by what you said. And not to say the government is witch hunting or the police are witch hunting. You came up Recently, it was the same former vice president that came up and had a whole lot of things to say about this George case. She had a whole lot of things to say. And she even called for a speedy investigation and that this case should be brought to an end as soon as possible. So now that the government is carrying out their speedy investigation and wanting to bring this case to close as soon as possible, and they are calling some of the individuals who are keep calling for this case to come to an end, then you come up and say government is witch hunting. I said this is wrong on your part. This is wrong. Whoever is being called, whoever that is being invited, once this person go, they exonerate themselves, they are free to walk back home. No one is planting evidence on someone when you go to the police there. You have a whole team of international partners that are observing whatever is happening. So why can't we for once allow the people that are to do their work? And this brings me to Mr. Conan, who have been on various platforms and accusing the government of a whole lot of things, making pronouncements that yes, indeed, there are top officials that are involved into this whole drug cartel thing. And now the police are saying, well, maybe we are slow. Maybe we do not have the means of carrying on a faster investigation as you do. Since you have the evidences, since you know those top government officials that are involved into this whole cartel business, please come and help us in this investigation process. And then Amara Kone is running around here crying foul. How can you be crying foul when you are the same person that came up and you are still coming up and making pronouncement that there are top government officials that are involved in the cartels? For you to make such a pronouncement, for you to make such a statement, it means you must have ideas on some of those individuals. You must have ideas on some of those people who are involved into the cartels. So if you are being invited to come and help with the investigation, you have no right to complain. If you never wanted to be invited, you would have stayed neutral. You would have stayed neutral, not to come and accuse people. And then you are being invited to clarify your claims. Then you say, no, the government, they are coming against me. The government are attacking me. They did it to Yeke Koluba, so they want to do it to me too. No, that is not right. That is not wrong. You have to come up and say what it is that you know about this whole investigation. That they can say, clear your side. Go there and clear your side. Since you know that there are top government officials involved into the cartels, go there. Send the police are wasting time. The police I mean, that would be commendable. If that can happen, it's commendable. So it's about time, Liberians. We all begin to think about our country. We all begin to put our hands and head together and make sure that we put Liberia first and not a political party. Like I always said, Liberia was in existence before any political party. And every political party will be dissolved and Liberia will still be in existence. So there's about time that we as Liberians put our attention to moving our nation forward and stop this issue of backwardness. You call for an investigation is going on, then you come up and cry foul. When the investigation has not gone anywhere, you are just being called for questioning. And then you have a whole lot of things to say. So what is it that we want for this country? What do we want? You call for investigation, the investigation is ongoing, you come and say that witch hunt. So it only becomes witch hunt when they are calling people from your end to come for questioning. But when other people are being arrested, it is not witch hunt. If other people are being dismissed, it is not witch hunt. If other people are being suspended, it is not witch hunt. But when someone from your camp is being called for questioning, that is the time it becomes a witch hunt. Where are we heading as a country? Where are we heading as a country? Do we actually care for this country? Or is it that we just care for ourselves and what we can pocket for ourselves? And this is wrong. We cannot keep doing this to Liberia. We cannot keep doing this to Liberia. Because the more we continue to do this, the more we harm our country, the more we harm our children and children to come. Let us put stop to these things. Let us help in investigations. When these things are happening, let us support it. Now, they play you a video of the arrest that was done today by the Liberia Joint Security.
They arrest us. They told to report the police station.
Right here. The people got guns pointed at me.
They come in the car and say, "If you go to the police station." But the man people they call the one of my agents out.
I'm not going to no police station.
So the man said, "Mo go. Mo say I agree. I'm going. I'm going for a party. My husband come and super down." The man want to say no. They want to say I will argue. So in fact, she want to get outside. We say no, don't get outside. And we told anybody told you. Yeah. But we.
Take the picture of that thing. Let me post it.
Not the video, man. No, we're not in for you. But I'm going to sing a fire. We in the car. We in the car with her now. No, the police wanted to care now. So I thought 112, so that'll be the call in the Congo. I want to night. We're not part of it. We're not part of nothing. The other, I ride with her.
Are the EPS people?
Yeah, he said we'll go straight to Central.
I'm going to my house first and wait for my lawyer. I'm not going to the police station without lawyer.
So I told her what to say. She go to travel suke. Huh?
Hey, go get a lawyer. That's important. Hello?
We read the Congo barrel. Read the Minister of Health. So the police barricade the whole Congo. Go have a Congo too.
I'm going to my house first and wait for my lawyer.
So go straight to the police station.
I'm not going to any police station without lawyer. I'm not going to do it.
I didn't listen. But we're going.
I will go to the police station. Look at the thing they put to it. Look at the thing they put to it.
Oh, bueno, ahora sí.
Ryan, going straight to the house.
I know, man. I'm going nowhere. I tell you.
I'm not going to the police station.
And so, folks, you have just witnessed what occurred when the former Vice President Vigo was being stopped and prevented somewhere else. And as we heard, he said boldly to them that she was not going to any police station, she was not going to report herself as a lawyer, and that she was going home. And even those that are with her in the car were also there helping in the resistance. Now tell me, you as an individual that have seen things from different perspectives, that know how the justice system works, not just in Liberia, or in other parts of the world. What happened today? If it was in other countries, is nothing going to happen where you are being invited for questioning in relation to a very big case, and you stand and refuse to turn yourself in, you refuse to follow the police, and you drove your car to go home. in other country. Now, let's just forget with this whole political thing that people, because I know there are a lot of people that are going to come and want to be more political. But let's just leave this and look at the justice systems in the world. You are home, and once the police comes to invite you, whether you are naked, the only thing they do is just to cover parts of your body, and they will take you and carry you to the station until you get answer for whatever call that they have called you for. You dare not resist a police officer in other countries when they come to invite you to the station. And for the fact that it was made clear that you received information about this, which means you were aware that the police were inviting you. You were aware that the police told you to turn yourself over to any nearest police station, only to find you trying to find a way to travel. And then they come to invite you, and then you resist and refuse. And you are going home, and you will get your lawyer first before you can follow them. And yet, and still, you are allowed to do whatever it is that you wanted to do. But all of those things are happening. Nobody said the police are being professional or the police are being understanding. Nobody said it. Only thing we can hear is that the police are witch hunting. Just to invite a person for questioning, and you say the police are witch hunting. So all of the other individuals that have been invited for questioning, why is it that they have never cried? We have to put Liberia first. We have to think about Liberia whenever we are doing these things. We cannot keep Liberia being on a path of backwardness. We cannot keep Liberia to continuously be a undeveloped, a struggling nation. That we are putting political sentiments above. No one now is thinking about this country. Everyone are just there thinking about their political leader or the person of interest. If this country plunge into chaos, we all will be the loser. If anything should happen in this country, we all will suffer it. So when we are making decisions, when we are doing things that have the power to affect the country, let us make sure that we have a second thought about it. Let us make sure that we sit and ask ourselves, what harm can this cause for the country? What harm? Well, we look up to the Liberia National Police to show their professionalism in handling this issue. We look forward to hearing more from them. But we as Liberians also, So let's think about Liberia whenever we are doing these things, because Liberia is our greater denominator. We cannot allow this country to fall. We cannot allow this country to be destroyed. We cannot allow this country to continuously be in a backward state. Let's help to develop this country. Let's help to build this country in whatever way that we can. Because in the nearest future, we will be asked by our children, we will be asked by people who will come after us. What was your contribution during this time? What did you do when the country was in such a position, in such a state? What did you do? What was your contribution towards the growth and development of this nation? You as a person should be able to answer and not to scratch your head and not have an answer to give. And it starts now. It begins with each and every one of us. The way we carry ourselves, the way we carry our country is the way how our country will become a better one. Let's take this break to be right back.
Happy Bianchi.
All right, and so folks, a pleasant welcome back to the program Image Spotlight on Image TV with me, David Siwalu. Well, we have discussed a whole lot of interesting issues. We began with the Guinea and Liberian border. Then we come and we talked about the recent questioning and arrest of former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor. And then we are also talking about the issue of the invitation extended to Amara Conan by the police IG, inviting him for some questioning, inviting him to assist in the ongoing investigation. And we are now talking about the issue of the recent news. And this is sparking major concern within the country. Just imagine this. You waking up to hear that coming up shortly, from now to the 20th of August, we will be having 20 prisoners from America coming to live in Liberia. Does this not raise concern? How did the government get at this decision? And according to information, This is just the first batch of prisoners that will be sent to Liberia. Remember, these people that are coming, they are not Liberians. These are prisoners from different countries, prisoners that their countries have refused. Their own country refused to accept them. But Liberia will be accepting them beginning the 20th of August. These prisoners will be sent to Liberia. Now, we do not even have the space to take care of our own Liberian citizens when we put them in jail. And now, we are taking international prisoners to bring them in our country. This raises concern. And a lot of questions need to be asked. What are the safety measures that the government of Liberia is putting in place for making such a decision? Where are these people going to be kept? Are they going to be mixed with our other Liberian prisoners that we have, or are they coming to Liberia to enjoy life? There are more information that needs to be given about this, and there is a need that more questions be asked. Because in time to come, we are going to be living with people that have committed crimes, with people that have killed, people that have raped. We are going to be living with them. What benefit is Liberia getting for making such a decision? Because one thing I know, such a decision cannot just be made just on a free basic thing. You cannot risk the lives of your citizens just because you want to please America. You cannot do that. These are people that their own countries have refused. But Liberia is receiving them. 120 plus of them will be entering in the country beginning August 20th. And after that, another batch will come. So it means we are expecting almost 500 to 1,000 prisoners from different countries to come into our own little Liberia. What are you thinking about this? What can you say about this? And I ask you, as you are making your comment, make sure that you put Liberia first. Because what you do, think Liberia, build Liberia, and live Liberia. Let's take this break to be right back.
Liberia took a huge step towards bridging the academic gap between the developed and underdeveloped world with the recent signing of an agreement between Starlink Liberia and the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. Starlink Liberia has agreed to provide 156 standard kits to public schools across the nation, giving students access to the internet and providing them with the opportunity to manifest their full potential and compete with their global peers.
Nowadays, to do research we find it difficult when it comes to internet systems within our country. But with this program that is coming, at least it will help us, it give us access to research. Yes, it will help us in the next 2 years to come. It will also make us to be vibrant as students so that when we get somewhere, we will have access to do research quickly, to solve one or two problems.
This is a beautiful prospect basically for our students and teachers as well, because what this does is that it erases the system where teachers may few years ago normally they use old notes, but with the usage of Starlink, this particular facility, what it does is that it builds their capacity a lot. So it improves the intellectual ability of the students and teachers as well, even administrators.
This endeavor advances President Boyka's vision of digital inclusion throughout the nation, propelling all sectors to be part of the global village with absolutely no one left behind. The Ministry of Education will partner with the LTA to distribute and install the kits, which are expected to arrive over the next few weeks. This is a report from the Liberia Telecommunications Public Affairs.
And yes, indeed, present. Welcome back to the program Image Spotlight on Image TV with me, David Siwalu. And I just hope that wherever you are having yourself a wonderful time as we discuss issues of major concern, issues that are affecting our country, issues that are affecting our society, issues that are affecting our children. And these are things that we got to keep talking about because if we do not talk about them, definitely we will continue to see most of these things happening, harming our children, harming our society, and making us to live in a situation where we will always be looked at as a backward nation. And this is not what we want for our country. We want our country to progress. We want our country to move forward, and we want our country to be a better one. So, in all that we do, let us put Liberia first, because Liberia is the only place that we can live without being deported. You can leave this country, you go to the Ivory Coast, you go to the Ghana, you go to the Canada, you go to the America, and once you do something wrong, even if you naturalize, you do something wrong, they will send you right back to your country, Liberia. They will send you back to your country, Liberia. So defend, you should make sure that that person that you are defending is actually right. And make sure that whatever messages, whatever statements that you are making, you are able to defend and back those statements with evidences. And this is what is happening now. Amara Kone is being invited by the Liberia National Police. He's being called to come and assist with the investigation. Since he have said that he has more information, since he have said that he know more about the drugs cartel, since he have said that top government officials are involved into the drug cartel and the police are afraid to call their names, let him come and show them. Let him come and call their names and let him stop hiding. Go there and show to the people that yes, indeed, this is the person that I'm talking about. This person is involved into the drugs cartel. This person is supporting the drugs cartel. This person is abating this drugs cartel. That is the invitation that you have received. So why then are you making this to seem political? Why then are you making this to look at it to say there is something political about it? Go and tell the people who are those top government officials that are involved. Go and tell them. Since you said they are afraid to talk it, go and say it. I mean, these days things are not being done undercover. As you are going there to assist, media outlets will be there, media institutions will be there, and they will hear whatsoever it is that you are to say, and they will publish it. So there is no need to cry political witch hunt. If you are invited for investigation, if you are invited for questioning, if you are invited to help in the investigation, go and play your part. You play your part, you leave from there, you go back home and sit down.
Is if we are put our hands together and do what is right. This is Liberia for us. Liberia is for everyone. Liberia is not for a specific person. So no one is more Liberian than yourself. We all are Liberians. And we have to do what is right for Liberia and not what is right for a political party. So on this slide, I would like to say many thanks to each and every one of you that have been helping, following this platform, following the live coverage, leaving in your comments. I would like to say many thanks to you for being there while I was here. On this slide, I would like to take my leave on this edition of the program, Image Spotlight on Image TV. Do have yourself a wonderful time and bye-bye until we are here again for another edition.